The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I wanted to get your take on this. Jalen Carter from the Philadelphia Eagles has been fined $57,222 by the NFL for spitting on Dallas Cowboy quarterback Dak Prescott. He will not miss any additional time. This is the equivalent of a one-game suspension because it's a game check. Okay. Mm-hmm. As more has come out, Carter did not say that he was provoked by Dak Prescott, but when you see some of the video and you kind of back it up a little bit and look at that, not that two wrongs make a right or anything like that. Initially, I thought that there was going to be more to this in terms of Carter, but feels like him missing a game, the fact that it could have cost the Eagles a game, it's going to cost him $57,000. That seems like a fair punishment.
Yeah, I had a much different opinion before you saw the rest of the video.
Sure, I did too.
Yeah, and thought that he probably deserved to spend more time suspended. But after you seeing that, and I'm not saying that Dak should be suspended or fined or anything like that, but he definitely provoked it, and I feel like it's good. With the punishment that's been handed out, I think that's good. So. I think he deserved to be kicked out of the game. I was great with that, and I think that the punishment at this point has been enough.
Yeah. This is what Carter said. He said it was a mistake that happened on my side. It won't happen again. I feel bad for just my teammates and fans out there. I'm doing it for them, also doing it for my family, but the fans, they showed me the most love. I feel like there's been contrition by him. He hasn't necessarily blamed it on anybody. I feel like that. Do you feel like Dak needs to come out and say, "Hey, I had a part in this too, and I probably stepped out there too far"?
He can't, because he's already said, "I spit 100 times a game. Sure. I was just spitting on the ground, blah, blah, blah," which is a complete lie.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how many times he spits a game, but how many times does he spit over the top of two of his offensive linemen's shoulders in the direction of another player while looking at them and talking to them? Yeah. Dak knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
I'm not saying, again, I don't think Dak needs to be fined or suspended. I don't think, what he did is nowhere close to what Jalen Carter did. Mm-hmm. But Dak was, he was doing some trash talking, and obviously there was a little bit of, I don't know, just guys going at guys there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't that Jalen Carter just went crazy. I guess apparently Jalen Carter said, "Did you just spit at me?" Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that Dak clearly did. Yeah. He didn't spit on him, okay, but he spit in his direction. So, again, I don't think Dak deserves to be punished, but he definitely was part of what went on.
Yeah, and so
he was not an innocent bystander.
No, it's another, and he's a veteran.
And again, he can't go back now and say, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that" or whatever, because he already said, "I did nothing."
Yeah,
he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. And it's a little check mark there where you go, okay, Dak. It's just another just a check mark there.
Here's the thing. I think it's meatheads being meatheads. It's guys being guys, okay. Right? It's football players being football players. Mm-hmm. What I don't think less of Dak for doing what he did. I don't think Dak is a choir boy that doesn't have some sort of a little bit of blame in all this, but it's probably something that's done a lot on a football field where, you're just talking and you're doing your thing. And I also like the fact that Dak was sticking up for his young rookie offensive lineman who Carter was going over to trash talk or whatever. Mm-hmm. I like that aspect of it. Dak's part, nobody would have ever known if Jalen Carter hadn't have taken it too far.
Yeah.
Okay, had never taken it he took it too far, which brought to light what Dak had done too. So, again, I'm not changing my opinion of Dak as a person or anything like that. But if you're one that thinks he's, just a perfect little angel and that doesn't do anything wrong, maybe that changes your opinion of him. But
yeah.
I just think he's a football player doing football things. Jalen Carter took it too far.
Yeah.
Dak was a football player doing football things. That is not what we do in the real world.
No.
What's on the football field is not the real world.
No, it's
the way
not.
they talk to each other, the way they treat each other, the way they do all of those things is
the way
not
there's
the real
assault
world.
on every play.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not
NFL.
the real world.
That kind of stuff doesn't even happen down at the loading dock.
But even then, Jalen Carter took it too far.
Yes, by spitting on him. He got drawn off sides, clearly. And it cost him $57,000. Just recent other episodes of spitting.
Yeah, like the next 2 days later, it happens in college football.
Yeah.
Which just says to me this happens a lot more than we know. I bet you in the bottom of piles, people are spitting on people all over the place.
And the other thing I wonder, too, is if...
we've heard the stories about them grabbing each other in the really bad spots and and doing all sorts of things. And, I bet you there's just... crazy. Just craziness that goes on.
Well, and you wonder too, this game was on Sunday Night Football. It's Thursday night, but it was the Sunday Night Crew. There's more cameras and more angles. You wonder if it was a regular NFL game, if they would have even caught that. All the stuff that Dak had done.
You don't think there's a camera almost always on Dak Prescott?
Yeah, you're probably right about that. You're probably right about that. So,
and I'd say that for any starting quarterback. But yeah, they would have caught it.
Yeah. At any rate, so 6:39 this morning here on the morning drive. If you have a comment on that or a thought on that, but that should put that to bed, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that should put that to bed.
Yeah, but it's another notch into the character flaws that we've seen from Jalen Carter.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And
next time he might not get as much grace from the NFL because it's like, well, you did this the last time and now it's escalated to this and now you're going to sit a game or two.
And as you know, my daughter's an Eagles fan, and I told her the next day, you do not walk into this house wearing a Jalen Carter jersey.
She doesn't have one, does she?
She does not, but I was like, that's not a guy whose character we want to support.
Emulate,
Yeah.
Right.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Wednesday, September the 10th, 2025. Time for this day in sports history. Here is Jeff McGuire.
Yeah. Before we get to the 10th, we got to go back to the 9th. I missed a big one.
Birthday?
Nope.
Event?
Yep. Big, huge, phenomenal. This day, 2022, yesterday.
1-2. He swings and hits one high and deep to left field. Back on it is Toppy at the track, at the wall. He leaps out of here! Welcome to the big leagues! Josh Young, a home run in his first career big league plate appearance. And the Rangers are on the board as he touches home plate with a smile. Josh Young, a big league debut to remember. His first big league hit just barely sneaks beyond the wall in left center field.
2 years ago? 3 years ago?
2022.
2022, 3 years ago.
Sorry, guys.
No,
that one's bad. 1950, today. Joe DiMaggio becomes the first to hit 3 home runs in a game at Griffin Stadium. 1974, St. Louis Cardinal Lou Brock ties with 104 and then sets with 105 the baseball stolen base record for a single season. 1989, 5 days after hitting a home run for the Yankees in a 12-2 win over the Mariners, Major League Baseball and NFL player Deion Sanders returns a punt 68 yards for a touchdown. First ever to do that in a week. 1995, U.S. Men's Open Tennis. Peter Sampras wins his third U.S. title, beating fellow American Andre Agassi 6-4, 6-3, 4-6, 7-5.
I don't think I've ever heard him called Peter before.
I was thinking the same thing.
Definitely Pete.
It's just funny how it changes the feel of it.
Right. Actually, Peter is like, wait a minute. It's
Never.
Pete.
I mean, and some guys named Pete always go by Peter, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't say Pete Frampton.
No, it's definitely Peter Frampton. Yeah.
Right? And yeah, that was funny. But it wasn't funny that he beat Agassi.
No. It's also, I don't want to.
Sampras owned him in major finals.
He owned a lot of people in a lot of tennis matches.
He was
and
pretty good.
now he is basically forgotten with the three guys that just went through.
Americans still love Pete.
But he's not exactly he was never a guy that just put himself out there all the time either.
No, definitely a quiet guy. Absolutely. Yep. He was the opposite kind of Agassi,
Like complete.
which is weird that I was an Agassi fan and not a Sampras fan.
That is weird.
Yeah, my game favors Agassi more than Sampras. I don't have a big serve.
Okay.
I don't volley very well. I sit on the baseline and
Okay.
ground strokes.
And in 2022, Donovan Smith ran for 9 yards for a touchdown in a second overtime, lifting Texas Tech to a 33-30 victory over number 25 Houston. It is National Ants on a Log Day. So get your peanut butter, raisins, and celery out.
Okay.
Is that what that is? Ants on a log? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Celery stick with peanut butter and raisins on top.
I don't care for celery. I like peanut butter and I like raisins.
Big happy birthday going out to former Texas Tech offensive lineman Brandon Carter, is 39. And one of our absolute favorites,
Man, of course I met Chuck. That's my guy.
Brandon Francis, turning 31 today.
Wow, how about that?
Randy Johnson, 62. Joey Votto is 42. Ben Wallace, 51. Jay Williams is 44. And we'll do it live. Mr. Bill O'Reilly is 76.
Okay.
You've seen that video.
Yeah.
Okay. And on this day in 1897, 25-year-old London taxi driver named George Smith becomes the very first person to ever arrested for drunk driving after slamming his car into a building. Smith later pled guilty and was fined 25 shillings. In the United States, the first laws against operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol went into effect in New York in 1910. In 1936, Dr. Rolla Hager, a professor of biochemistry and toxicology, patented the drunkometer, a balloon-like device which people would breathe into to determine whether they were inebriated or not. In 1953, Robert Brokenstein, a former Indiana State Police captain and university professor who had collaborated with Hager on the drunkometer, invented the breathalyzer. A more practical device and a scientific test available to police officers to establish whether someone had too much to drink. A person would blow into the breathalyzer, and it would gauge the proportion of alcohol vapors in their exhaled breath, which reflected the level of alcohol in the bloodstream. And that is this day in sports history.
All right, this day in sports history.
I now want a drunkometer.
Drunkometer.
That just sounds like something fun to have.
Like for the studio, or you think, or do we need do we need that?
I think we need something a little more sensitive than the drunkometer, but
Okay.
For up here. But just to have that sitting on a coffee table somewhere and be like, "What's that? Oh, that's the drunkometer."
Okay.
Because it's such a ridiculous name that people would think it's fake, but that's his actual name.
Okay. The drunkometer. 6:51 this morning here on the morning drive. Jamie, I'm still puzzled. You know, we got this news during our show yesterday with regard to the Big 12 officiating crew and the reprimand for allowing a punt to occur on a free kick, which is in violation of a rule. And the Big 12 has removed that officiating crew from its next scheduled assignment, which was scheduled to be Friday. It just seems like an awful lot for not very much. So you almost wonder, was that crew on some kind of double secret probation? Is this the Big 12's way of saying you got to get it right, or you know, you're going to miss a game? Because it seems like the penalty it didn't affect the game at all. I mean, whether you kicked off or punted in that situation. I mean, they got it wrong, and why they got it wrong, don't know. Don't know if maybe the drunkometer wasn't in full force there, but it just seems odd.
Yes, a lot of it seems odd. Right. I mean, I was watching that game, but I was flipping back and forth between other games, and so I clearly must have missed it. But if you were watching the game and you saw somebody score a touchdown, whether or not they missed the extra point, which they did.
Kansas blocked it, yeah.
Okay, whether or not they missed the extra point, and somebody went to kick off and they punted, that wouldn't have, said to you, whoa.
What is that?
It would have me.
Absolutely.
I've never seen anybody do that for a kickoff. I would have assumed if they did it or tried to do it, that it was illegal because A, there was no flags thrown, and B, clearly their special teams coach thought it was legal.
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. So I think and somebody on the chat line during the afternoon show yesterday mentioned that maybe that's just because this is so blatantly wrong, and they let it go. Watching and listening back to the game, the TV guys questioned it for half a second. I mean, they were like, Missouri's going to kick off now. No, they're electing to punt it. Oh, well, they'll grab it and run it out to the 25. Okay, 1st and 10 there for Kansas. So they questioned it. You could hear it in their voice, but then they just let it go, which is, I'm assuming, is just like, I would have thought if I saw them line up to kick off and they punted it and then no flag was thrown, I would go, oh, I guess I didn't know that rule. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's almost like they treated it like a safety.
Exactly. That's exactly what they did. And it wasn't a safety. I mean,
it wasn't a safety.
It was a touchdown, and they happened to get the extra point block, but it doesn't matter. Either way, you're kicking off normally. So it almost feels like the officials got caught off guard and they just said, whatever, let it go. And so they're punishing them for being lazy, I guess. You guys need to get together and talk through this.
But it sure sets a precedent for the rest of the year with the Big 12. That if you miss something, you're going to miss a game, right?
Well,
it's dangerous.
If you don't know the rules, you're going to miss a game.
Yeah.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today here on the Morning Drive. We have a couple of birthday boys with us today, Jamie. Paul, earlier this morning, and I'm sorry I missed it if he's already taken him to school and all that kind of stuff. This is 45 minutes ago. They were headed to their favorite breakfast spot. I don't know where that is with his son. He's 15 today, and so proud of him. Good job. Paul,
awesome.
Next year he'll be driving you to the breakfast spot because he'll be 16. He may already have his learner's permit. And then our friend Washed Up Guy. He said, good morning, fellas. I'm happy and feeling great looking back today on 74 pretty good years of life on this earth. May God bless us all. Washed Up Guy. He looked pretty good when I saw him at the stadium on Saturday. He was upright. That's good.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, he was standing near the front gate. It looked like I was greeting people at the front gate, and I was greeting a number of people. I think that is in my future at some point in time.
You're going to be a Walmart greeter?
No, just I think I'd rather be. I don't want to be stationary at any one specific spot, but I'd just like to be a greeter, like at the stadium or at the arena, kind of an ambassador.
An ambassador.
Yeah, I'd like a jacket, jacket and kind of a badge or something. It says ambassador.
We're running a commercial for kids having little air tags in their shoes for the Skechers things. Yeah, we need to get those for dress shoes for Chuck. So some of us can know where he is at all times when that happens. He'll never know about it. We'll just, hey Chuck, we got you some new shoes. Try these on, and he'll enjoy them because they look sharp.
Anyway, I was waiting on the little phenom and the lucky lady, and I was greeting people and talking to people as they were coming in, just as being a friendly fan.
So this greeter person, and you're going to walk around the arena and
just be an ambassador. Yeah, just say welcome to town, welcome to Lubbock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you expect diplomatic immunity?
Do you know that? Because you're going to have. If you're walking around, you're not going to be able to watch the game.
Oh, this would just be before.
He never watches the game anyway.
I do too. That is a misnomer. I spend a lot of time watching the game.
I do feel like when I'm a older retired gentleman, I would love to be an usher at a ballpark. I think that would be fun, but I want to be out there where I can see the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And after the game, as I was leaving the post-game press conference, there were some Kent State people there, and I said, "Hey, thanks for being here. Welcome to town." Do you get that on the road with the baseball team? Do they say, the fans say, "Hey, thanks for being here," or "Hey, it's good that you guys are here," or "Travel safe," or anything along those lines? Do fans talk to you at all as you're leaving the ballpark, coming or going?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not usually.
Okay.
Not usually.
Well,
if I walk by somebody, and I happened to walk by somebody who was from Kent State the other day, I said, "Hi, how are you?" Just kept walking. We didn't really stick around for an answer.
No, I just said, "Welcome to town. Thanks for being here."
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be a friendly foe.
I do make a point to say hi. Well, I hope you guys had a good time. To Kent State fans, if for no other reason, when they go home, they can't say that every Red Raider fan they ran into was a complete jerk. That group can't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I just got handed to me by 48, and somebody says to me, "Hope you had a good time."
But
probably
it's
not going to take that great.
I say it with wasn't the outcome you guys wanted, but otherwise I hope you guys had a good.
Hope you had a good trip.
It's a whole lot of words to somebody that you've never met.
Right, but they can't then go home and say that everyone was a jerk.
I agree, Jeff. I've said it many times before. Very similar to that. I always try to be polite. I don't try to have full-on conversations with them, but I try to be polite for the thought that no point they can never walk away saying every Texas Tech fan I met was an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay? Because chances are they're going to meet some of them, but they can't say everyone. They can't say everyone. I've said that for many years, and so whether at home or on the road, if I'm there to cheer on Tech, I try to be nice to the opposing fans, but again, I'm not thanking them for their attendance like you guys do, which is great. That's awesome.
Thanks for being here.
You guys are a little bit more in depth than I am.
And then
I just try to be a good human being.
Well, we're still working on that.
And then point them to like Montelongo's or the fried cheese place, or go check out these restaurants. It will help soothe the loss.
See, and here's the thing. If it was you two as the opposing fans, you two would both appreciate those conversations.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, be like, oh, that's a good place. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
But not you.
No.
Not Jamie.
I'm good, thanks.
All right.
But you appreciate somebody tells you where a good cheeseburger is.
Yeah.
I feel like Jamie can sniff that out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
All right, couple things on Oregon State. First of all, defensively. And again, you have to consider the opponent, Cal and Fresno State, but just here's kind of where they are. This is what they hang their hat on right now. Third down conversions in 21 attempts by Oregon State's opponents so far. They've only been successful 14% of the time, and that ranks fifth nationally. So you could say, well, has the other team got a bunch of explosive plays? Do they not need third down? Okay, if you wanted to kind of flip it to the negative, but when they get to third down, they've been pretty stingy. Okay. Okay. The other thing is, and this, I think your defensive backs are going to get tested a little bit, but this would be a good test for your defensive line, saying, "Hey, we're going to prevent these types of plays from happening from the get-go because we're going to flush the quarterback out of the pocket, or we're going to force him to make decisions sooner than he really wants to." Because so far in the first two games, Oregon State has 10 pass plays of 20 or more yards. That's 13th nationally. Okay. And their quarterback, Malik Murphy, over the first two games has thrown for 615 yards. Seems somewhat pedestrian, But he had 371 last week against Fresno State.
Yeah, I mean that averages over 300 yards a game. You'll take that.
So he's got the capability, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. So they've got the other thing that's very curious to me, especially for a guy that's coaching it at this level. Their head coach Trent Bray is also the defensive coordinator, and he's a defensive guy because he played linebacker at Oregon State, and he's in his 11th year with the program as either assistant or as a head coach, but he was the DC in both 2022 and 2023, but now he takes on the duties of defensive coordinator. So it sounds like he's got an awful lot on his hands.
Yeah.
And look, every head coach is going to have his own philosophy. Some are going to be like, okay, I want the DCs, I want the coaches to coach, and I'll coach the coaches. All right, that's probably how most people would like it. His job is Coach McGuire's job is shake hands, kiss babies, manage the team, manage the roster, coach the coaches, set the tone, develop the culture, all those kinds of things. Other coaches may have
chat with level at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Here's something to consider about Oregon State, just as you're watching the game. Since 2021, when they rush the ball at least 175 yards, they're 25-6. When they're under 175 yards, they're 5-17. They rushed for 65 against Cal, lost. 140 against Fresno State, lost. So they're going to want to throw that ball. Okay. Just got to defend it.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. I will learn from my mistakes and not claim that there are no wrong answers
that's
today.
Probably good.
But I will ask you what I feel like is a pretty wide open, simple question that everybody should be able to get a right answer because it's your opinion. Okay. All right.
Do the best we can. I'll try to pay complete attention to what you're saying today.
2 questions, 1 positive, 1 negative. Okay. What player has been a bigger factor and impressed you than you thought he was going to be? And what player has been quieter than you thought he was going to be?
Quieter. Okay, I'll start with the quieter. But I think this is low-hanging fruit. But I think Cam Dickey has been quieter than what I thought. I realized he had a couple touchdowns last week. It feels like, and part of this is the competition. Adam Hill's gotten more carries and yardage, and he's carried the brunt of the ball in the second half these last 2 games. And a guy that's really, I think, stood out. I just really like how Terrence Carter Jr. plays. I really do.
I do too.
I mean, and I don't know that he's, because I think we saw this coming. If you went to the spring game or if you saw anything, highlight-wise or practice-wise. But I just think he's a stud, man. And I think he's going to be just really, really good for you. So those are my 2 answers.
I mean, how can you not point out your Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week and a big man touchdown as someone who stood out? I thought he would be good. I thought something like that could happen. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice to actually see it. It's nice to actually get to enjoy that. He's probably a little bit better than what I necessarily thought. And his smile. His smile is probably making me think of it more than what I would think of on that touchdown. I
think both of our top 2 defensive tackles with him and Hunter have great personalities.
Yeah.
I think defensive tackles, if you took every position group across the field, I think we would find out that defensive tackles probably have the best personalities.
You have said that, and I think
just fun guys.
As for someone who's been quieter, and this is a judged quieter. I don't know that I was expecting a ton from him, and some of it has been his primary use as kick return. But Micah Hudson, haven't seen a lot from him. Haven't seen a lot of opportunities going his way. Some of that's on kick return where you haven't had to return many kicks. That doesn't help. But I'm just a little surprised that I haven't seen a little bit more from him than we have.
Okay, the guy that I'm surprised with that I think has been really good, his numbers might not bear it out because of the penalties, is Tristan Gentry. I think he looks like a legit, really good return man, both in kick game and punt game. And I just, didn't expect him to make as big of a contribution as he's making so far. If we could just clean up the penalties, we would be talking about him probably being a special teams player of the week once or twice already this year. So he's been impressive. So I'm going to go with Tristan Gentry. The guy that I feel like has been quiet is Caleb Douglas. I mean, he's got 5 grabs through 2 games.
Yeah, that's a good point.
81 yards, hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year. I expect him, and still do expect him to be the lead guy for whatever reason. And I'll tell you, this past game, I paid special attention to it. Like, I was watching away from the ball, watching him. He's one of the guys I really root for. And he's getting open. The ball's just not coming his way. That's not to say that other guys aren't also getting open.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Barron's forcing it elsewhere and refusing to throw to Caleb. I'm not suggesting that at all. It's just that other guys are open too, and Caleb on many of the routes doesn't look like the primary receiver. So the ball's going to the primary guy or whatever, and so you're not checking down to Caleb doing his thing. So I expect that to change as the season has gone along, but to me, he's been really quiet. I mean, I feel like Virgil and Aiken have been a lot. They've made a lot more noise with their play so far this year. There's 5 touchdowns combined with those 2. And Douglas, just 5 catches total.
Yeah. Okay. Some immediate reaction to the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I'm just going to read them. We'll just decide if they're accurate or not. CD also had some big drops.
I think just one.
Okay.
I think just one drop.
Somebody brings up John Curry as I think a surprise, maybe. Okay. And then Micah Hudson, although if you listen to the coaches, they have been on John Curry from fall camp forward, and maybe even before, because they've tried to find a way to keep him off the field, and he's refused to let them keep him off the field because they were going to move him over here and then move him over there and have him as a backup, and he's just outplayed people. I hate Cowboy Coy Aiken has been more silent than I thought he would be. Do you agree with that?
I mean, he's got 6 catches, just over 100 yards. He's got a couple of touchdowns. I just think at this point of the season, because you're only playing a half.
Yeah, it makes it hard. And
you're spreading the ball around to so many different receivers. Everybody's getting opportunities. Then nobody's seeing it a ton.
And you got to remember, in your first game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, you only played 16 minutes in the second half. So 16 of the 30, so you played half of a half. Charlie says this is before your comment. He said, I say Payday Douglas has been much quieter than I thought. I didn't realize that was his name.
Payday?
Payday.
Well, from the article I just read, he's at least the third highest paid receiver. You brought in 2 guys this year that at the receiver position that are getting paid more than him. So I don't know why that's his nickname.
I don't either. Yeah. I was rolling yesterday listening to the podcast with Chuck's answer. Thanks for the entertainment, guys. Love the show. Oh, you're welcome. That's what we're here to do. Let's see. Syntax Hank says he was.
I feel like sometimes they're laughing at us, not with us, though, Chuck.
Or at me, which
us. We're a team.
Okay. Jamie, in 1969, I got to be an usher at Shea Stadium during the World Series. It was a blast. Well, I bet it was.
That is so cool.
That is very cool.
So cool.
That is very cool. And, of course, the Mets went on to win the World Series. The coolest part of my job was pointing people to the press box, so we were done by the top of the first.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
On Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is great to have you with us today here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that of the mobile app. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Okay. So look forward to that. We come to you, Jamie, Jeff, and I, from the First United Bank studio. I was trying to do a quick look, and I can't find it real quick, to see if Hellman makes the catch to end the inning and then leads off the inning with the home run. I don't think that was the case, but I was going to ask you, that's kind of the standard broadcaster. Oh, hey, you make a great catch and you're the first guy up. You know, it seems like that happens quite a bit. But probably if you looked at it statistically, it doesn't happen as often as the broadcaster says, oh, he makes a great catch and he's going to lead off the inning. That happens all the time in baseball.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, but probably.
See, I think it gets pointed out more when he makes up for his error in the previous inning and hits a leadoff home run in the next inning. Like, that feels like that gets brought up more.
Yeah, he did not lead off the bottom of the fifth. There were two guys in front of him, so because it was a 2-run home run, right? So, of course, there had to be somebody ahead of him.
That is how a 2-run home run works. Not only was someone ahead of him, but they had gotten on base.
Unless
it was the 10th.
Unless it's the 10th, then you've got the ghost runner, the zombie runner, whatever you want to call him out there. On
stupidest rule in baseball. That's what I want to call it.
Yes. We're all in agreement there. We get this from Paul. He was out with his son at breakfast, and he had a Double T 97.3 listener wish his son a happy birthday a while ago. It's just power of the morning drive. That's the power, man.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. All right, so good for you, Paul. Good for your son. Jeff says this: I hate the January portal entry. I think it should be after spring ball, but this is why schools hire general managers to handle those decisions and let the coaches coach in the championships. Now, I think that's well said. I think it's more about the players having to make those decisions, and maybe the end of the bench guys that. And you don't, because you never know. I mean, the end of the bench guy might be best friends with the starting quarterback, and it gets in the guy's head. Well, they're forcing my buddy out. I guess here we go. And he's got that in his head. Then his girlfriend's cheating on him, and the next thing he knows, he throws 6 interceptions, and they lose the ball game.
Man, that escalated quickly.
And you go, what happened? Because, well, my best friend's told he's got to leave the team, and my girlfriend's over here, sleeping with the center from the basketball team, and now it's all in my head, and I got all jumbled up, and I couldn't focus on football, and we lost the game.
Wow.
Sometimes it happens like that, Jim.
Amazing how your mind works, Chuck.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it.
You want to give me an example?
No, I mean, that was just a theory, just hypothetical.
Yeah.
A hypothetical thing that could.
I'm sure there's been plenty of times where guys have played bad because they've been in a fight with their girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the case. If our quarterback is playing badly because his friend who's a defensive back is leaving the team, we got a really weak-minded quarterback.
Yeah. I just got a wow from the lucky lady. I don't think she was wowing at pictures that I sent her last night.
I mean, you've only eaten your breakfast smoothie this morning, Chuck, and it's made by the Lucky Lady, right?
Please don't ever again mention pictures that you sent to the Lucky Lady the night before, okay?
No, these are
please,
just pictures of the phenoms.
Please.
Yeah, did a collage. I'm not speaking from personal. I'm not speaking from personal experience. The portal makes girlfriends cheat. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how we got there.
Sometimes it escalates quickly.
The Lucky Lady makes your slushy, your little thing every morning, right?
Yeah. She puts nothing in it.
Are we sure?
Could she?
That's all you had to do.
Does she mind?
What would
If
you
we
like?
ask nicely.
What would you like her to put in it?
Anything to make it stop.
Some reality pills.
Reality pills. Well, I take 7 pills in the morning, so I guess I could add a reality pill to it.
Yeah.
I took a lot of drugs this morning, so
I think you can even get those in gummies. So
I've never done a gummy.
Could we get him in Flintstones? Could we get him in those? That might help.
Okay. This from the Yates Flying Center chat line. I made one great catch in my baseball career, diving catch in foul territory, which wasn't the most graceful dive, but it was a diving catch. Led off the next inning, hard hit single up the middle. I thought, hey, it really does work getting a hit after a great defensive play.
there's probably, I mean, the fact that you're feeling good about things.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe you're less in your head. You're like, man, that was really cool, that play I made.
Yeah.
I'm a stud. You got confidence coming to the plate.
Right, all those things.
There's probably some truth in that, right? Mm-hmm. Just like a guy makes a good defensive play, blocks a shot or whatever, gets to the other end, and all of a sudden the basket list just looks huge for him.
Right.
Yeah, because no matter what, you made a great play. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
At that point, Chuck, you're playing with house money.
You are playing with house money. Yes. You're catching on, man.
Nobody ever in the world of sports.
You're catching on.
Yeah, because I made a diving catch, so I don't care I don't care to get on base. Doesn't matter.
Playing with house money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
A little confidence at the right time is a very dangerous thing for your opponent.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Chuck.
And Chuck.
Chuck has never had a little confidence about anything.
I don't know. I have my
Keyword
moments.
little.
I have my moments when I can't sell, a cold bottle of water to a guy in the desert that's dying of thirst,
Must be like me. He refuses to buy singular bottles of water.
Oh, goodness. All right. Somebody says this in response to that, the diving catch and then the hit. He goes, you were playing with confidence because your girlfriend wasn't cheating. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The green grass grows all around.
How many times in your baseball career, Texter, did you misplay one out there in left field and then get to the plate and go down looking because you were still living in the past? Going, I can't believe I missed that ball in the outfield, and then
missed another one.
And then here comes the breaking ball right down the middle, and you're frozen pizza.
You're frozen pizza. Yeah, you're toast.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.